a big round of applause, please, for Selma Page. Hello.
What's the crack? Hi, yes, my name is Selma. I'm named after The Simpsons. And my mother denies it, right, but she's schizophrenic. And it's a bit delusional and a cunt. So, you know, Paddy and Selma, that's what I get to be when I grow up. You know, fat and hairy and lonely and just living with my sister smoking far too much. You know, don't say all. Yeah, see, when I was a kid, I was often treated like a bard. You know, I was just like a fucking problem. I was like a hyperactive ADHD kid. But I felt like Elisa, right? I'm actually really sensitive. I get like really, really attached to characters in books. Like Black Beauty was my first love and my first heartbreak. I'm not over it, okay? It's not a laughing matter, okay? But after a while, what I realised, I'm not a Bart, I'm not a Lisa. I'm a Maggie, right? Because I'm the youngest in the family and no one fucking listens to me, but I'm clearly the smartest. It doesn't help the family, it's like Homer's all the way down. So, you know, yeah, I'm an elderly emo, you can probably tell. Do you know, I've been across the road and up the street many, many times. 3 people who got that is so funny. Yeah, and I've been living by the good word now for a while. The good word, you must have heard the good word, you've clearly heard the good word. You know the one. I was smoke weed every day. I took that shit to heart, man. I took that shit to heart. I have a problem now though, so I'm in a bit of a dry spell because I moved. I'm from Wicklow originally, right? You can't tell by the accent. And I moved to a place called Pilltown, Kilkenny, because I thought we might have something in common. We did not. It's a lot of cows. A lot of farmers and cows, and no decent weed guy. Right? I have a problem, right? Because like Dublin's brilliant. Dublin has the Brazilians. Right? You get a menu every few weeks, you can just like pick up whatever you like, they're reliable. Do you know, you're going in to get your usual stuff, you fancy a bit of ketamine, like it's just there. Do you know, it's grand. I have had no luck down here. Do you know, you try and make friends, you get numbers off people, you try a few things. But I'm not into like the scabby 25 bags off children. I'm not into that, because I make friends and I'm like, oh, have you got a good guy? And they're like, yeah, I've got a good guy, and they give me their number, and I'm like, no, I don't think you understand the level of supply I'm expecting here. I started halves, man. Like, don't give me no fucking... literally tried a new guy a little while ago, and you know it's bad when they want to meet you at a bus stop. Anyway, I went to meet him at the bus stop, got to the bus stop, and a literal child got off the bus, right? He must have been about 13. And he had a little fucking mate with him and everything, who was like about 7. And I'm standing there and I'm like, this is not where I want to be in life, okay? And yet I still keep trying, because there's only so much weird shit out of good vibes I can fucking survive on. Anyway, I'm technically a professional athlete, because the only way I'm doing any exercise is if I'm getting paid. So it's riding horses or riding dick. I'll be honest, I chose badly, right? I chose real bad. Don't get paid, still have to ride a lot. I'm actually walking a bit funny, but I had a long hard one this morning. And before you're like, horse riding's not a sport, right? The horse does all the work. Yeah, me and my chafe labia. We would disagree, okay? Doesn't help the old dating life. The boot of my car is like a mobile S&M dungeon, right? And like my bedroom's even worse. You know, sometimes like if I'm lucky enough to get someone home with me and they walk in the door and I get to watch as their like excitement turns to fear as they see the wall of like straps and chains and like contraptions that I just keep in my bedroom, right? And I have to be like, no, don't you worry, they're not for you. They're for the naughty boys and girls at work tomorrow. Yeah, my life's fucking odd, right? I'm actually single. Again, recently, if you're not surprised. Do you ever have a relationship that ends is just like meh? It just ends and you're just left with this like meh feeling, right? That's kind of all I ever got out of him. Do you love me? Meh. Do you have a life together? Meh. Do you fancy a shag? Right. Do you ever have no, you know a relationship's over, right? You know the moment that a relationship's entirely over. The first time you have to listen to a Spotify ad again. Genuinely, that's fucking heartbreak, right? But why is that, like, that's guys' move these days. They're like, fine, you want to leave me? I'll take you off Disney Plus. I'm like, mate, me and Pirate Bay were mates long before you came along, okay? We'll be fucking fine. So, yeah, being single, how am I on time? Oh, I have ages. Okay. All right, well, we'll rewind slightly. I'll tell you about my doggy, right? Because I have a dog. A few years ago, got a dog. Also had a nervous breakdown. But let's talk about the dog. You know, so I woke up one morning and I had nothing to do, no job, you know, I recently quit. And I let myself go on the rescue website, right, you know, and I was just gonna have a look. And what's the worst that can happen? I'm just having a look. The second picture I saw was this like black German Shepherd looking dog, right? She had big fucking ears, big fucking paws, and she was like staring down the camera, and their tongue was like. So she was like, I'm gonna fuck you up, but I'll be cute while doing it. I was like, yeah, I'll take her, please. And then I had to wait like 2 weeks because they don't just let you impulsively take the dog home. And I got the dog home, and I mean, I thought she was going to be crazy, right? A rescue dog, she's a German Shepherd. I thought she was going to be nuts. This thing was fucking insane, right? It was insane. And I didn't know why. And people kept sort of saying to me, oh, you have a Malinois. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Alright, she's dog, cool, whatever. Eventually I looked this thing up, right? So I thought I was getting a German Shepherd mix. Turns out I got a Belgian Shepherd. Right, so Belgian Shepherd, if you don't know what they are, what the Belgians did, they took a normal German Shepherd and they crossed that with like a Velociraptor. And the puppy comes out with ADHD. And that thing sleeps in my bed. Obviously, because her bed is full of dead animal bones and the skins of her stuff. You know, and I did some reading about dogs that they reckon these things are about this intelligence of a 4-year-old, right? Which means they're like demanding and manipulative and fucking loud. But dogs have some like genetic thing that kind of keeps them, it's sort of like Down syndrome, right? It keeps them very innocent and very friendly and very like puppy-like, right? The difference between dogs and wolves is dogs essentially stay mentally puppies forever. So I didn't get a dog, turns out. It turns out what I got was like an autistic wolf. I love her deeply, I really do. Yeah, so being single again, I know there's some drama coming. You know when you're in a relationship for a while and then you just really want like a good slut run. Like you just know you want to go on a tear, but like I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good. Because last time I was on single, I went on a tear through like literally the full 32 counties. You know, because like especially when you're gigging like this, when you're a comedian, you need somewhere to stay. So. To just keep a guy there, you know, just keep him on the roster, give him a text every so often, and then just be like, hey, I have a gig. I'll sleep on your couch, sure. But the problem though, like when you're talking to a lot of people, when you're like, you start to get a bit bored in a way. You get a bit psychotic, right? You just start like playing games with these motherfuckers. And so I started inventing games. And one of them, I invented this new position. I call it the reverse psychology cowgirl. Right? I see a few people are coming with me. Right? Because I ride horses, right? I've got real good hips. They always want me to ride. I find it incredibly boring. Right? Because it's kind of nothing where you're just there like this, and he's like, right? But I find it funny. I like watching guys' faces while they fuck, right? They go through a full range of emotions. They're trying to be cool, they're like this, right? And then they sort of get lost in it, they're like And then the inner child comes out, right? The inner toddler, like they're just so fucking delighted. They're so fucking pleased to be there. And that's the moment I wait for, right? So I'm there, I'm on top of him, looking into his eyes, getting the whole show, you know, he's enjoying himself. He's like, amazing. I like to look down and really seriously, and I'm like, oh, you like that? And he's like, yeah. I look down, and in that moment when I just fucking own him, right? You know, you can like look into a guy's eyes just like the 10 seconds before he actually orgasms, right? You just own his fucking soul. Right? And I like to look into his eyes and call him by the wrong name. And he's like, oh, I love it, and I'm like, oh, do you like that? Oh yeah, I love that, Donica. But that's telling you the fun part, right? The fun part is that after that, right? And you get to watch the dilemma and confusion in his face, right? Because some of them won't notice, but some of them will notice. And then they have to decide, am I going to stop and get offended? Or will I just see this thing through? You know, I'm already here, why not? And then, you know, ultimately, of course, it's the test, because like, I want to see what they do afterwards, right? So, you know, some of them, they just ignore it and leave and carry on with their life, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Clearly, I was just a prop in your fantasy. And some of them get like butthurt, you know, they're like, but they wait, right? So a few minutes later, they're like, why did you come in? And they're always naked and they're like this and they're little, you know. Right, they can get fucked, right? I can't deal with that security, right? But the ones I like, the ones who stick around, right, are the ones where we both fucking know what happened, right? You look me in the eye, right? I watch him decide not to do anything about it. He's like, no, you're pretty enough. That was good enough. I'm just gonna roll with this shit. So yeah, and like you might be thinking like, God, she's a fucking freak, right? But I am. So are you, right? Because I know that at least some of the boys in this room know what a donkey punch is. So I'm not the only fucking freak here, right? And so yeah, thank you very much. My name is Selma. I'll only be the weird riding girl. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.
I don't know what to say other than give it